Hello, welcome to Ladies in the Living Room podcast. The living room is open. It is your friend Laura and my friend
Kristin.
Hey, everybody.
Hi, everyone.
We are here in New York. Isn't this ironic? We are here in New York to talk about the Real Housewives of New York, RHONY.
We are literally about, 15 miles from Manhattan?
Yeah, maybe 20 something. I don't know the exact mileage, but if there's no traffic from where we live in a place called Westchester County, which is, there's different towns and whatever. But you can get into the city in like a hot 30 minutes.
Right, easily.
Yeah.
I
mean, anywhere.
And
if there's no traffic, but that's never
tax,
happens.
I love that now. But that's another story.
All right, that's another story for another day. You're talking about the congestion pricing.
Oh, the congestion,
right?
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, that was it, the congestion pricing.
So going from, it's not a great issue here in New York, that congestion pricing, but now going to an even darker, dark
and
episode
disturbing
of Real Housewives of New York. I'm sure you've all
That was-
seen it. I'm
yeah,
sure
this was
you've been
bad.
listening to stuff about it. Yeah.
Well, one thing I want to bring up too,
Whoa.
the very start of this episode, it was only night 3 in Puerto Rico. I feel like it was night 20.
Oh my God.
I feel like we've been in
It was
Puerto
like
Rico.
that was the
Like, they've
longest
been
year in Puerto Rico.
forever.
It seems like
It's only been 3 nights.
it seems like they were there for a year.
Literally.
I
Like,
mean,
I was just like, it's only night 3.
If I was on
the
this
last
trip,
6 episodes of
I
it.
would have needed like a boatload of Klonopin just to get me through.
Ooh.
Like the anxiety that would have been riddling out of me just from all the bullshit that has been flying. Like it starts out with Cy, Jessel, Aaron, and Brynn. They talk about the Jessel convo that they had outside. And
Yeah.
Cy was like, Cy was implying that Povet was a sex tourist. When he was
I
going,
loved it when Jessel said that.
when he was going there to eat a sandwich. I don't think he's a sex tourist.
No, I really think Povet wanted a sandwich. I really think he went to Vietnam to get a
that
sandwich.
he's looking for any type of
No.
sexual. I think food gets him off.
I think, he's having an affair with food, not with another person.
And then Povet
people.
called Cy bipolar, or somebody called Cy bipolar.
Yeah,
She's
Povet
like,
did.
"Oh,
Last
that's
season, he said it in the confessional, or he said it, and Cy looked, saw the.
Yeah, and then she's like, called her bipolar, and they were all joking, and
This
she's
is a
like,
soft spot for, or this is a trigger for her because of her mom being
Exactly.
bipolar.
And then I also wanted to point out before we get into the darkness of the episode that Jenna Lyons is another one who spends a lot of time in bed.
Oh,
I
she
feel-
is, yeah.
Well,
right?
I would have also.
Well, maybe she was just so stressed
I would
out.
have also with this group. I would have been like, "How can I sleep to get the fuck
Can I
away
get the
from
fuck
these?"
away from these lunatics?
And then Erin's like, "Look, we all got to tell Ubah that she can't be calling Brynn a whore and saying she sucks dick for money all the time. Like, we've got to shut her up about it."
Yeah, but now here's the thing. Ubah didn't say you suck dick. I think she said maybe you slept with somebody.
Right.
But did she say on another
Well, I
part
think
that
she
she
was just-
sucked dick? Maybe
no,
she
said
did. I
no.
don't know.
Brynn said that. Brynn said that.
Brynn
See,
put
she
that
likes
in her
the
mouth.
money. She's
Yeah.
being a pigeon. So Cy says you can't keep calling Brynn a whore, and Ubah says no, I didn't do that. Just like you said, she didn't.
Yeah.
She said that maybe you slept. Right, just what we just said. 2
Yeah, she
seconds
said
ago.
on the Sprinter van. What was it, the night before that she said that? Like maybe you slept with
Again,
somebody?
it seemed like a year ago, but it was
It did.
only like the night before. And then Ubah's going, I wake up in the morning as Ubah Hassan, darling. Look at me. And
I
I'm
know.
like, shut up, Ubah. Just
I know.
shut up.
I mean, that's like
it's
a
just
little
annoying.
Mhm.
And they're all like confused. And listen, Brynn is a fighter. This is what I think about Brynn. Brynn is a fighter,
Mm.
and she's also a needler. She likes to needle people, and
Yeah.
she's always egging on. Like when she's like, "Ooh, but you're not a model. You model for Dress Barn." You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
that
that's
is
a
a-
needle,
you're-
and
you're digging.
you're digging at somebody's career, and
And
you're
then
not
she-
Naomi. She said that again.
And
You're
then
a
she
6-foot
said,
toddler.
You're a 6-foot petulant child.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
Brynn,
it's,
what have I done other than work my ass off? And now Brynn is going off.
yeah. Now she
Now,
loses it.
What's interesting about this is
Why can't she goes? Why can't a black woman make money and be successful? Oh.
she starts crying, and then she's like, "They're like, no one thinks you're a whore. No one thinks that. No one thinks that."
Right.
And
And I'm sorry, you had a point. Yeah.
but I forgot what I was going to say. What was I going to say? Oh, interesting. I was watching this the first time I watched it. I watched it twice.
Yeah.
The first time I watched it, I had the sound off, and I was doing something else.
Okay.
And I was really involved in what I was doing. But I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know that. But when I looked at the screen and I saw her crying, I said to myself, it looks like Brynn is lying about something right now. Now,
Just from her body
just
language.
just from looking at the screen and seeing the way she was crying, I don't know, it just struck me as like, it doesn't look like she's telling the truth. I didn't know
Yeah.
what she was talking about at the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that when I did watch
Mm.
it, I was kind of like on the money there because
Yeah.
Brynn, that's the moment when I pinpointed it when she's going,
Mhm.
listen, I'm in support groups. What am I doing? I'm in support groups for sexual assault.
Yeah.
And Ubah's calling me out on this, and Ubah knows this.
Yeah.
That's exactly when she was lying.
That's exactly when she was lying.
And I
honey.
just found it so fascinating that that was my first immediate thought.
And I knew when she said, Ubah knows this, I told her, I said, she didn't tell her that. You just, because Ubah is not a bad person like that. You just know she would not do that.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
what Brynn likes to do
Mhm.
is Brynn likes to get everybody spinning like a top. She likes to create chaos. And then she likes to play the victim. And that's exactly what she was doing in that moment.
Yes.
Now, listen, again, are we sad and I think that everybody said, are we sad? And we never would not believe Brynn if she's saying she was sexually assaulted. Like, I don't think anybody's questioning that. But you clearly didn't tell her. And it was very kind of clear. Ubah knows this. Yeah, I told her. And even then, I felt like she was spinning her story a little bit because she said, well, I had called her with a bevy of other things. There was a suicide attempt in my family or something. Like, she's already kind of spinning the story that I'm going to come back in 20 minutes and go, you know what? I don't think Ubah clocked it.
Yeah.
I think she was already going there. Like, let me kind of lay it out. That
After
it was a little bit
everything erupted.
chaotic.
Yes.
I called her. I was crying. There was a suicide attempt in my family. Like, maybe she didn't get it. And I feel like she was already starting to spin it right in that moment.
But Brynn went too far because think about this. If Brynn didn't say Ubah knows this and she just said, this was a trigger for me because I was raped.
Right.
And left it there,
It
right?
It would have worked
then
in her favor.
it would have worked in her favor where it was
Exactly.
Ubah. The reason why this is so triggering for her is because what you said hurts even more because she was actually assaulted.
Exactly.
That would have been the end of it.
Exactly.
But she had to go that next step and spin, like you said, and then make it up. And
she was
Ubah knows this.
out to be like, I'm going to pop back in
Yes.
here and keep trying to take the temperature in the room. Like, like Jenna said, or she felt like a little girl popping in like, are you guys okay? And she's like, she spent her whole life lying and doing all this stuff. So
another
now,
one who's a pathological lie. I mean, like she really, I think she's believing what she's saying. Like I believe this did happen. Ubah did hear me.
You know what? I thought it was such a genuine reaction out of Raquel.
Yeah.
She was so horrified. Like,
right.
Oh
like
my God, how could Ubah know this and say this? Like,
she said, I can't even look at Ubah right now.
Yeah.
Like she just couldn't
She was
believe
so horrified.
Yeah.
And they were all horrified. But then Brynn talks in an interview that she can't she's talking in an interview and she like can't breathe. She's Raquel is really upset, and it's then there's Jenna Lyons, who's so sweet, and she's like, look, this is all too common a story.
Yeah.
And Jenna can't believe it either.
Yeah.
But
here's a good point too. Okay, a good scene. They show a scene now where Ubah's apologizing to Brynn, and Ubah says on the side, I don't really care about Brynn.
For the girls.
I'm doing it for the girls
Right.
and the house and the peace and the harmony. But this also shows that Brynn is such a liar because Ubah's taken her aside after what Brynn revealed to the ladies. Why didn't Brynn in that moment say, but Ubah, I told you.
Exactly.
She didn't say
She's
that.
not even right. She just gets up and walks away because she doesn't know what to say.
Performative. Your apology's not genuine. And she walks away, right? I think she's starting to know, like, okay, like I got to get away from her.
Yeah.
Yeah. If
not
this
sure
really
what she's
happened,
going
she
with
said,
it yet.
after BravoCon, Ubah, she would have said,
Right.
I told you about my sexual assault, so why did you
that's
throw
a
that
great
back in
point.
my face?
That's a great point.
Yeah.
Because I don't think
Yeah.
because I don't think Brynn knew where she was going yet. She was a little scattered still. She didn't. She's still pissed that she said that, but she also doesn't really know where she's going
Yeah.
based on now what she said to everybody else.
Right.
And then it was like, oh, we were all going to go to bed. Like
Mhm.
that was that was like,
I think we
and then
all
all
need to
hell
go to
breaks
bed.
loose.
And they said that the
Hell
cameras
breaks
go
loose.
down, and that's when the shit gets real.
Well, you're right.
Ooh.
Jessel then tells Ubah what Brynn said, and you literally
Yeah.
hear Ubah scream.
She screams.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, it was like she was wailing.
And she was saying she was completely blindsided in that moment, kind of like Bob the drag queen was on The Traitors.
Yes. Yes.
Sorry if we're ruining that for anybody, but Bob the drag queen was
Yeah.
blindsided, and I'm
But
bringing that up.
Jessel,
But
yes.
I'm just saying it just to be funny. That was an ill-timed joke on my part.
No,
But
it's okay.
Ubah was crying and shaking, and she wants Brynn to tell her because she cannot remember.
Yeah.
And
and the reaction that Ubah had, you can tell, was pure and genuine.
yeah,
It really was. And thank God for a friend like Jessel. I am so
Mount
glad.
Vesuvius just erupted. Yeah, I like what she said.
Jessel she did exactly the right thing by telling Ubah about this. If she
And-
had not told Ubah, this could have gone in a completely different direction. This whole story.
For Ubah
Yeah.
to come in and say that if I knew about it, may God strike down kill my firstborn. We
Right.
know that Ubah wants nothing more than to have a baby.
Yes.
And for her to say that and how, that she believes in God and all this stuff, she would have never said something like that. I don't think Ubah would cross that line
That's where
if she was lying.
That's when Raquel and Jenna said we knew she was telling the truth when she
And then
said
it's
that.
all kinds of screaming and producers and they never break the fourth wall like that. The producers were out there. Everybody was like, what's happening? You could see them trying to diffuse the situation. And then I was listening to Andy on Radio Andy the other morning.
Yeah.
And Andy says, when have you ever known us to end a trip early?
Yeah.
Like, never.
Yeah.
Staring Island when
I
freaking,
know.
what's her name? I forget her name.
Kelly Ben Simone.
Kelly Ben Simone, thank you, is having this mental breakdown.
Yeah.
And, running around with her gummy bears and Bethany's like, now, okay, she's crazy. And now we have to take care of her. Like when they all finally realized that she was having a mental breakdown.
Yeah.
They didn't stop the trip then.
No.
This
is like, I don't think I've ever seen a darker, more disturbing episode of any housewife show than this.
And listen, we are putting this on the same level with like Jen Shaw. All the shit that went down there. We're putting this on the same, you're putting it on the same level.
Yeah, the
with
same
that
level.
stuff.
Yes.
And
the heaviness.
Scary Island and,
New Jersey, even.
Jersey, Teresa.
Yes.
Jail.
Yes.
Fraud.
Yes.
And this is
This
by
might
far.
be at the top.
It's at the top.
Yeah.
It's at the top. As a matter of fact, I even heard somebody talking about, who was talking about that? Oh, Michael Rappaport.
Oh, yeah.
Said, I'm crunching numbers with Jen Shaw over here. Like, this is bad news. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
Yes. And Teresa.
Oh, God.
know?
But then Ubah leaves the house with Jessel, which I think was the right thing to do.
And she also
get out of that house.
Yeah, they stayed at a hotel.
They stayed at a hotel. I mean, the producers had to know, okay, this is so bad. We got to get you guys out of here.
And now this is when they come into Jenna's room. They leave and they come into Jenna's room and she's like, Brynn says, but maybe Ubah didn't clock it. Which I think she was already spinning in that moment when she said it.
Yes.
Because she had said there was a suicide in my family and I was calling him and there was so much going on in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
And then now they all see like everything. Erin says like everything about this group of women changed in that moment.
Yes.
Raquel says, oh God, this isn't lining up. And Jetta says the same. Like,
yeah.
This is not. We're all realizing that this was a lie from Brynn.
That was like Raquel said in her confessional. That's when I knew
they all believed that Ubah didn't know.
Right.
And
that Brynn overplayed her hand,
which she really did.
Which she totally did.
And I feel like
there's shame on Brynn.
There's shame on Brynn, but there is an element of goodness to Brynn because she's going, oh boy, I really went too far. And I think she realizes it.
Do you think she realized that?
Well, and I think she's just trying to make herself look good now. She's trying to backpedal. And they're all not going like, yeah, no.
She
Even
was backpedaling
Sai.
by saying maybe she didn't clock it because, she's
Correct.
going, oh, shit.
She's like,
I don't
they're going to
think
find me
she
out
didn't say
now.
that. They figured me out.
Right. They got me.
Yeah.
They caught me in a lie. And again, I'm telling you, when I was watching it with the sound off, she looked freaking guilty.
Yes, she
That's
did.
why I said to myself, why is she lying? She must be telling a story, is what I said to myself. Because, and then the next morning,
she's sitting with
Brynn.
the producers like nothing's going
Brynn
on.
on the couch as if nothing happened.
Chilling out.
Yeah. And
just
she said she texted one of the producers, says she wants out of here. And she knows, and I think because she knows she fucked up and she wanted to leave.
Yeah. And thank God she left.
That was bad. It
was just like, I don't think people like wanted to look at Brynn after that.
I had a priest in college who said the greatest thing ever.
Yeah.
And he said, you're a product of your past. You're not a prisoner of it.
Okay.
You're a product, not a prisoner. And I feel like Brynn is a product of her past, but she's allowing herself to be this prisoner. And you can't use it anymore. Like, Brynn, this was so over the line. Like, we can't give you a pass here.
You can't give yourself a pass by always being a victim.
Right.
She's constantly in that
creates
victimhood.
The chaos.
She creates
the
chaos
lies,
and then she becomes the victim.
Creates it and then she's the victim and she's used to lying about it because that's her pattern. But guess what, Brynn? You're now 38.
Yeah.
Like, this has to stop. And I think the ladies have now put their foot down.
Yeah.
They've given you a lot of slack.
Oh, a lot.
And now we can't.
Look at what this could have done to Ubah's career.
Everything.
Her livelihood.
Just everything.
Everything.
And
I really, like, again, if Jessel did not
Oh.
tell her and the ladies didn't reveal this
Right,
to Ubah,
and
I
this
mean,
was
maybe it
going
would have come out
on
at the
and on.
reunion. It would have come out at the reunion.
But
I'm just saying, like, how damaging this could be to Ubah.
how will Bravo's HR department, like, how does human resources not become a part of this? I mean, she is literally defamating, as you said, like defamation of character to Ubah.
Yeah.
She is completely defaming her.
Yep.
By lying about her and about something very serious, about sexual assault, about lying about it, knowing about it, not being a champion of women. Like, that's not at all what happened here.
Right.
And is that like libelous behavior? I don't even know. But I feel like this becomes an issue in HR.
I think
if Ubah complains.
If Ubah wants to pursue this, she probably could if she wanted to.
But meanwhile,
I think she's got vindication now.
But
look, what
they all
Ubah
believed
said
her
in the Sprinter van, it was too far.
Yeah,
like,
agreed.
You should not say that.
She said maybe.
Ever.
She did
she
say
said
maybe,
and I think she was just so angry at Brynn that she lashed out. But okay, fine.
Sorry. But listen to this, Ubah. Ubah and Jessel come back. They all apologize to Ubah.
And Ubah's like distraught. The way she hugged Aaron, it was like I almost wanted to cry. And for Ubah.
Ubah says, "I'm grateful they have seen it with their own eyes."
Yes, exactly.
But now, in Rolling Stone, nobody hears from Aaron. Right now, the show they do that final scene.
Oh yeah, with
they're shooting the titles of they're shooting the titles. Andy Cohen's like, we've never used the title shoot in any other one. That's just a day at work. Like, they're coming and they're, doing it. They show all that, Brynn says, I'm so uncomfortable. But then her rebuttal to this whole thing in Rolling Stone, I read this article. I mean, Brynn is a spin doctor. She's actually great at PR. She's fantastic at it because, oh my God, like the way she was coming off in this article, like, she just spun it to her favor and she still wants to come back. The article itself, I urge you to go read the article. You come up to a paywall on Rolling Stone, but read the article. I mean, she really spins it well in her own
favor. I read pieces of it. I didn't read the whole article, but she did double down.
Now. But I'm
double down. Like I something like I was reading. I was rambling. I was saying a lot of things in that moment when someone's screaming to another person over the phone. Maybe they didn't hear it, but I know I said it. So she's
and I wasn't sure about
convincing
it, and I'm
others that
still
she's
not
done
sure about it, like, if she told her or not, like,
it. Yeah.
you know, nowhere in there do I hear an apology to Ubah.
No way. Yeah, there's no
Um,
apology there.
a real overt sort of apology. Like,
Yeah.
she's great at talking in circles, Brynn.
Yeah.
And she basically, it was just a great spin piece in her favor.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, wow, if she really feels this way, like, that's kind of amazing.
Even with this article, though, I don't think anybody's on her side. I don't think any of the ladies are on her
I
side.
don't know how and Sai was like, I'm never going to trust her again. I will never trust Brynn.
Right.
And Jenna feels confused and taken advantage of. And like, I feel like Jenna is really talk about the arbiter of truth. Like, she really
she
is.
is.
Like, she's sweet and she's nice, and you trust her, and you know that if she's saying she feels this way,
Mm-hmm.
then
I think the majority of, or
and
if not all the ladies feel that way. Well, did you see Jenna on Watch What Happens Live? It was such a good one because it was Jenna and Bose. Jenna Lyons and Bose.
Sorry, I'm just
was
having a
on.
brain fart for a
No,
minute.
that's
I'm like,
okay.
Jenna? I'm just talking about Jenna Lyons.
But Jenna said on Watch What Happens Live that
Yes.
none of the ladies have been talking to Brynn.
None.
So
And then
Brynn
this
is
comes
on an
out.
island by herself. She doesn't have an ally right now.
And this comes out but I think
Yeah.
she's used to being on that island, and she's comfortable there, as uncomfortable as she is.
Yeah.
Because she was always fighting in her growing up, and it was always chaos and confusion and lying. She had to lie about whatever was going on in her house. So she just comes so easy, like boop, boop, boop.
Yeah.
And she wants people to feel sorry for her. Clearly, she wants the sympathy.
Yeah. But she doesn't have it, and I'm just wondering if she's going to come back.
And Ubah was also, they were saying, like, I think, I'm not sure who said it, but they're like, yeah, like, I think she was afraid to tell this to, Oliver or whatever, Mr. Connecticut, because what would he think of her?
Of course. Well, yeah, if like he's watching the show and he sees the way Ubah's been behaving this whole season, because Ubah's been a little unhinged and hot, right?
My final thought on this.
But I really feel like Brynn was pushing her. All this time we've been recapping New York, and we're talking about how, unhinged, unglued Ubah's been, right? And crazy.
But
I think that she's getting, as you said before, she's getting
needled constantly,
and she just can't take this. Like,
right?
Don't needle me.
Right? It's too much.
It's
and even
too
when
much.
she was saying, like, even when she was just sitting there sleeping at the table, like, what are you doing here? Why? What do you care what I am doing?
Yeah,
like, she's just so over it. Shut up, Brynn. Stop it.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm gonna really go hard on you. And I think it's just because she's pushed her to the limit.
Yeah.
And then I think my final thought on this whole thing is, I know they just rebooted this, but I think they need to reboot this whole fucking franchise. You need to hit the reset button on these fucking psychos.
Yeah.
They're just they're not
maybe
interesting.
Keep like 2 or 3.
Raquel, I think Jenna Lyons.
I liked Raquel and Jenna very much in this last episode, and Jessel.
But yes.
Very much.
I think Jenna would be great in a documentary about her. Do a documentary about Jenna. Let's see.
Let's see the business side of
and to be on reality TV.
Yeah.
Raquel, I don't know. She's beautiful, but I don't know what she's doing. Go hang out with Mel. Go see your mother in Puerto Rico. This is not working out for you.
She's a good person. I like her.
The only one who might be, Jessel is just go have a baby, be done. Brynn needs years of counseling. Just get her
she's
in
really
somewhere and let her really just get this together. And Sai's great.
Brynn is
Sai's on
very
a good
damaged.
road. Let Sai go off on her road and be 2.0 Sai. And Erin might be the only one that could make it, but she's
maybe
not of this. She's having a baby too. Let them all go and come back with another crazy, amazing cast, and then everyone won't watch it in 2 years.
What about Ubah? Remember how I was saying Ubah's not going to come back? Now I don't know.
I think they're going to bring all these ladies back, which is upsetting because this is what it led to. This is what it led to.
I'm not like
this rotten, horrible episode. These women are toxic together. Rebecca Minkoff might as well be out. When she came in with the pizza and they were all laughing at her,
was really.
She was like, "We should all eat. We've been drinking.
So the food is here. We need to eat." It was like,
and they were laughing at her like, "You are such a loser,
like a lame."
And then I heard them say somewhere, was it at BravoCon or just recently? And it was Erin and Ubah, and they were like, "Do you even own a Rebecca Minkoff bag?" And they were like, "Well, It was like, yes, I do. And then Erin was like, well, she gifted it to us. And they were like, oh. But she's like, I do love that bag. I carry it around. And, Ubah's like, I use it. I have it here with me today. But like,
Yeah.
Erin's like, it's not my style, but I do like the bag she gave us. And I was like, oh, they hate her. Just get her off. She's another one who should never have been on this, ever. Horrible for her business. Horrible for her. Just reset the whole franchise, people. Reset.
Well, with that, I did listen to a podcast recently that Lindsay Hubbard was on. Now, I think I said this to you before, well, not on the podcast, but I said this to you on the side. It came up, would you want to go on The Real Housewives to Lindsay? And she said yes. Now, that would be a good addition.
Yeah.
Jump away from Summer House. You're a mama now.
She should not
You
be
got your little
near.
family and everything. You'll be a perfect housewife.
She would not be. She should be nowhere near Summer House.
I think this should be her
killing the
final
vibe.
season on
You're
Summer
pregnant?
House.
Get out.
But she would go on New York.
Ugh.
So that was kind of said to
Yeah,
her.
but
And she was like, yeah, I'm good TV. I don't know.
She is, but this cast is horrible and does not jive well. Lindsay is another troublemaker.
Lindsay's nuts.
She's
so
another
I think
troublemaker.
Get maybe Brynn off and get another nut in there. Get Lindsay.
Oh my God, Lindsay's nut self.
She's nuts,
oh my
but
God.
I don't know. It's something to
And
think
she's gonna be a
about.
mom now. Like, let's see her in a mom group or something. Like,
Yeah.
like I don't know. I don't know. I just it's all too much.
Maybe Paige. Bring Paige over to New York.
Oh God, no. Oh God, no. So she could lay in her bed in New York? Like what? What's the? I mean,
Probably. We'll see her
please.
a lot there.
We have to hear Hannah Burner, and I can't. All right, everybody.
Okay, everybody.
That is our take on this deep, dark,
Very dark
episode. We just really wish everybody well, but Bravo.
I'm curious to see the
please
reunion
put
next.
a freaking pin in these women.
But I'm gonna say this too. One last thing.
Yeah.
Out of all the episodes we had this entire
This was the
dreadful
only
season, this is the only one that, as dark and as damaging as it was and
interesting.
disturbing, it really interesting,
Well,
compelling.
the human dynamics going.
Yeah.
And all the backgrounds and
Yeah.
and then there were somebody was also saying about the housewives in general. I don't know if it was particularly about this situation. It might have been, but just that, like, we think we know these people and we don't. We only know like a part of them.
Right.
So we're all sitting here like, the Monday morning quarterbacks or the Monday morning psychiatrists, like, oh, Brynn's this and Brynn's that, but we don't really know. We just know she's had trauma in her childhood, but we don't know. Like maybe she really is diabolical and, and then we're giving this person this platform. Like we need to freaking reset, people.
Yeah,
Bravo.
I think so.
We need to rethink this.
Maybe it's going to go on pause.
I
Like
don't think so.
Jersey.
I don't think they're going to do that to themselves. Then they're going to admit they were wrong. But you
Mm.
got to be flexible, baby. You got to go with the flow. And on that note, we
Okay.
leave you.
We leave you.
All right. We will see you next week for the reunion because God only knows.
I'm looking forward to
We're
it.
gonna hear what they say about it.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thanks for listening. Check us out, Littler Podcast, Ladies in the Living Room Podcast, and Ladies in the Living Room on YouTube. All right, everybody.
See you, everybody.
See you next time.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Bye-bye.